Game now, we have tied up series now by rsvp, the top right player, taking that last game and making sure that he can still win this series.
His opponent spawning in the bottom left position as Red Zerg. He is tied up 1-1. He did lose his last game, but all he has to work on is his little micro and the multitasking abilities to win this next game. His name is Heusa.
Oh, sorry. That first intro was so good that you didn't even know where to start because you didn't even know if that was an intro. So I... that happens.
That is true.
That happens. There's nothing wrong with being a little casual once in a while, especially in this tournament. There's no money directly on the line here, but of course the winner of this series will get into the main event tomorrow, which starts at 2 o'clock CET. Ooh, Heusa trying to hide a probe here, and he successfully does so, and I love this trick. So I mean a drone, and he successfully does so, so he can throw down the base without being blocked before getting a pull.
Yeah, so he's gonna go for a hatch first. Interestingly enough, he's getting it at okay, there we go, 12 drones.
What?
And he actually
cancelled it
to
get another
he
drone
put it
out.
in the wrong position.
Oh.
1 hex to the right, it seems like.
I thought he was doing like an extractor trick with a hatchery, but no, he was just in the wrong position. That you don't see that every day.
It's a next level meta.
Yes, it is.
Spend 75 minerals to free up 1 supply to get a drone out.
That's right. It is a lot more expensive to cancel a hatchery than it is to cancel an extractor. So yeah. But it kind of reminded me of, I remember July Zerg when he played StarCraft 2.
Oh, hold on! Hello!
rsvp finding the holes and the ins and the outs of this map. We didn't know this, I promise. That walls it out.
By the way, that is true because I knew about the fighting spirit, how stupid it could be, and he didn't know about it until he saw one of the replays. He's like, wait, this is possible in Starbow? What?
And he cancelled actually those pylons, and now there is a timing for Heusa to send out some drones and do some damage, but he's just not caring. I think he's just gonna cancel and re-expand at another location at this point.
Which is actually the great decision. There we go, cancel on the hatchery. And all he has to do is cancel 1 cannon so that the second cannon, the pylon is alive as long as possible, so that it's annoying for the Zerg player to expand over here.
Ooh,
but he doesn't need a second, I said second cannon. He doesn't need a second cannon, but he might be able to utilize the second pylon.
Oh, here we go again. Oh, he sees the probe. He should have seen the probe there. I don't know how he's trying to work around this.
Look at the third base right now. Look at the 9 o'clock base.
Yeah.
Look at rsvp trying to get as many cannons as possible. Sending a probe over there, just checking to see if he expanded over there. He didn't expand, so he's just gonna cannon the other base.
I think he knows about this one though. 2 Zerglings on the way. I'm not sure if they're out to scan. No, they're out to kill. And this cannon will probably not finish just because cannons take forever, but this probe might actually kill the Zerglings.
The hero probe is gonna get the first Zergling who's not paying attention. Uh-oh, the cannon's gonna finish, and the single Zergling can't do anything against it. The cannon is in range of the hatchery, so 1 base Zerg, is that a thing in Starbow?
Wow, this game is crazy. Now, where do I expand? Like, he should just put 1 cannon on every expansion on this whole map, and he's pretty much won the game.
Alright, let's try for option C. Option A didn't work, option B didn't work, let's try for option C.
There we go, and he checked this option C earlier, but now he should be checking. In the meantime though, he's actually getting Hydra upgrade, and he's just going to try and go for a 1 base Hydra bust, which is a really, really odd strategy. Well, I guess he was planning on going 2 or 3 base, but that just didn't happen.
I mean, you just have to go for Hydras, because 1, Hydras are a lot more effective at taking out the Hydras compared to the Zerglings, so you need the Hydras to take out the cannons. And 2, it keeps your opponent inside the main base until they get a lot of units out against the Hydras. So it's at the very least, it's the thing that Heusa can do right now.
Yeah, and what I would love to see from rsvp is to actually get some upgrades on the Nexus so he can start chrono boosting those cannons if he tries to kill them with Hydras to get maximum efficientness out of them.
That's Starbow.
But you know, that would probably almost be wasted chrono boost, but it would just be so much fun to see it. So he's getting a lot of cannons. I don't know if he's seen the Hydra. I haven't been paying attention that much.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, he did see the Hydra den, so he wants to make sure he can stay safe and defended with a lot of photon cannons. I think that's even tight.
No, it is not
No,
tight
there's
because
nothing
there's
there.
more gap over there.
You
But
don't want to
remember
run
that
the
three
Zerglings.
cannons. Oh, the Hydras is in a good position. However, he needs to micro that. If not, just force around a kiss and a goodbye.
Yeah, see, the units for Heusa, Heusa is not in a position to throw away units at the moment. He
No.
doesn't really have an economy going at all. As I say that, it's about the same as Protoss. Let's just hide that bar so I can still say right things. Okay, he's gonna try and kill this cannon. Let's see, 3 Hydras, 1 cannon. Can that work?
You do have to realize that Protoss sitting on two bases compared to Zerg 2 base, which is a really great news for the Protoss. He has 9 more workers than his opponent. In fact, the reason why rsvp and Heusa were similar on supply count is only because rsvp did not make any zealots, because he was spending so much minerals into getting those cannons down at the natural.
Yeah, and I like that he's using a new ability we have in Starbow. Well, it's a transfuse that is in StarCraft 2, but when you use a transfuse, which is now called a nurturing swarm on a building, it makes it build faster if it's not complete yet. So he's getting that for the hatchery, which is a good idea because he is behind because of those cannons. But so are rsvp somewhat. He also had to make a lot of cannons in his natural, so I'm not gonna say that rsvp is that far ahead, but he had a nice little interesting start, and the game is slowly turning into a normal game. It's only that if you look at the time counter, we should have been a lot further than we are.
I mean, also you have to count the fact that rsvp, after seeing the Hydra, he just panicked and threw down as many cannons as possible. But I don't know if that was a great decision, because I feel like having about 3 to 4 against 1 Hydra is a little bit overkill. If you have 3, it's perfect, in my opinion. If you have 4, you're perfectly safe. If you have 5, it's overkill.
And it's really difficult for him to know to like how many bases does my opponent have right now, because I cannon all of these bases, maybe has another one. How many Hydras can he actually make? It's a very difficult call to say how many cannons you need in this situation.
That is true, but the only reason why I said that is because he went towards the 9 o'clock position to check to see if the hatchery was up in that position to cannon that earlier on. So rsvp already knew the expansion situation of Heusa.
Well,
So,
yeah, well, he
yeah,
thought he knew, but yeah, I see what you're saying though.
That's the only reason why I'm a little bit skeptical about the cannon count.
Yeah, that makes
Other
sense.
than that, rsvp is in a great position. He has, well, Heusa is actually catching him in the working count, so both players are a little bit stabilizing a little bit as the Zealots are gonna try to march towards the natural. There's only 1 Hydra, 2 Hydras, but with the Hydras joining from the back, Heusa can actually defend against this attack easily.
Sounds like little Zergling learning to count. 1 Hydralisk, 2
2
Hydralisk.
Hydralisk.
How many Hydralisk do we need to kill Protoss?
1, 2.
Ah, you only need a couple. That would have been fun to be a Zergling learning arithmetics by comparing it to how many Protoss units you can kill. Sorry, I am a Zerg player. I'll try not to be too biased.
Then again, they'll only learn how to count only up to 2 and then die, which is quite sad.
That's true. You throw away Zerg units quite well, quite a lot. I guess Zerglings would count in, you know, the even numbers because they come out in pairs. But yeah, okay, I'm not gonna get into that.
That's a good point. 0 or 2 or dead.
Yeah, very simple number system really. Scourges too, I guess. But we see the Hydras now trying to chip away at the gateway. Very few Hydras really do anything here. The Zealots are out again, but so are the overpowered Banelings, and no, he doesn't know about them yet. And if Banelings can connect to the Zealots, there will be mayhem and carnage, and he gets the gateway. That's what it's called. I can't talk anymore. I've been casting for too long. And just thinking of me having to cast a lot tomorrow as well, this is going to be very interesting. He gets the upgrade, which is important.
Yeah, that was really nice, and especially now he can't make any additional cannons until the additional forge inside the main base goes up. So nice little victory by Heusa. And remember, this player, his Baneling micro has been really great throughout the tournament. Behind this, he's getting a Spire, he's getting +2 upgrades with the Baneling speed.
And there's a Spire. Yeah, almost. Sorry, you were just saying that.
Yeah.
I was just spacing out for a moment there. And
no, it's okay.
But we have the Storm on very high energy, high Templars. So Speedlot Storm coming out. Gotta be a little bit careful not to let the Speedlots get too far ahead in front of the high Templars. I almost called them Stormers. Because that's basically what they are. They're the Stormers. But we got the Stalkers again for RSP. He keeps switching it up with Stalkers versus Zerg, which I really like. I really want to see like some high analysis of how you can use Stalkers in different matchups, because the Stalkers do have an interesting place in Starbow, which is very different from StarCraft 2.
Yeah, I feel like in PBT Stalkers, having a couple of them against Siege things might be good, but the thing is they're too light, so you're gonna have to experiment with the ratio of Stalkers to the other units.
Yes.
And that's the thing about Stalkers, is it's really mobile. Like, they could just jump around everywhere, harass, and be kind of effective against the mutants, but once you have a bunch of them, they don't deal any damage whatsoever.
And like you want a group of them. They kind of feel like Mutalisks, to be honest. Like that's what they feel
Yeah.
like. You want a group of them to go around and harass. I remember playing versus Zerg, and he was lurker containing me, and I made a bunch of Stalkers, and I just blinked over the lurkers and just went and killed them. And it just felt so great. I can ignore your lurkers. This is great. And you can't really do that with any other Protoss unit unless it's a flying one, of course. And here we go, big engagement. Nice storm, but his units are really well spread out, so he couldn't really find a lot of units to kill in one storm. And in the meantime, Heusa's getting his 4th base up. Not saturated at all, though, but I don't think, no, rsvp doesn't know about this. He knows about the 3rd base by now, though, and he's gonna try and kill that, and it's very poorly defended. Roaches incoming.
Yeah, there's a unit that you guys haven't seen throughout the whole tournament, Roaches. So how do they work in this? Well, hold on a second. The Roaches are going to try to work on these zealots. Nice storms, just keeping the Hydras away from this ramp. And who's losing a lot of units over here as the Roaches inside the 3rd base all go down, and the Stalkers and the zealots are free to town away on the hatchery. However, the main force for Heusa is still alive and well. Nice blink micro, going to try to avoid the bailings as much as possible and try to focus fire on the Roaches. Nice bailing shot on all of those cells. However, it is rsvp who has more units in the end.
I just loved rsvp's army positioning there, not bringing all of the army up to the base, just keeping the Stormers, keeping the High Templars down there, zoning it out, and just incredible army movement from rsvp. He knows exactly what he's doing. Like I said earlier, he doesn't seem to be doing anything at random ever. The Roaches here are very different in... Okay, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to... Well, I can explain that now.